Hi guys, welcome back to Meet in the Lord's YouTube channel, Love and Living through Christ. It is so nice to have you. If you're new, welcome. My name is Love, and if you are not new, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back. So in today's YouTube video, this is the second get ready with me for the second look for the music video that me and my sister are doing together. Yay. So in today's video, I do have something specific that I want to talk about as I'm getting ready. So I thought we could just go ahead and read through this scripture and then kind of just talk about it as we go. So yeah, we are going to be in Job 33, 12 through 33. So Job 33, 12 through 33. Look, in this you are not righteous. I will answer you, for God is greater than man. Why do you contend with him? For he does not give an account of any of his words. An accounting of any of his words. For God may speak in one way or in another, yet man does not perceive it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls upon men while slumbering on their beds, then he opens the ears of men and seals their instruction, in order to turn man from his deed and conceal pride from man. He keeps back his soul from the pit and his life from perishing by the sword. So if you watched my other video about God is speaking to us, we did touch on this already, but the way that this connects to the rest of the scripture, like, this is why I believe it's so important to read all of it together, to have that full, complete understanding of what he's speaking about is absolutely insane. And it helped me when I was in such a low, dark, sad place where I was just letting the enemy completely take over my mind with these thoughts of just nasty thoughts, like really nasty thoughts, and I was allowing myself to dwell on them. And I'm kind of like a little bit back in that mindset, and that's why I've been trying to meditate on this again. But me and my sister, one day we did a Bible study and we came across this, and when I tell you, it really helped to like rip me from that mindset. It just blew my mind the way that God speaks to us sometimes. And so I'm really just hoping that this is what that can do for you if you're in this state of mind or in this place where it's just unhealthy and you're allowing the enemy to just take over in spaces with thoughts that you know that he has no right and no authority to do so. So yes, let's continue on going. It says, man is also chastened with pain on his bed, and with strong pain in many of his bones, so that his life abhors bread and his soul succulent food. His flesh wastes away from sight, and his bones stick out, which once were not seen. Yes, his soul draws near to the pit, and his life to the executioners. If there is a messenger for him, a mediator, one among 1,000, to show man his uprightness, then he is gracious to him and says, deliver him from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom. His flesh shall be young like a child's. He shall return to the days of his youth. He shall pray to God, and he will delight in him. He shall see his face with joy, for he restores to man his unrighteousness. Then he looks at men and says, I have sinned and perverted what was right, and it did not profit me. He will redeem his soul from going down to the pit, and his life shall see the light. Behold, God works all these things twice, in fact 3 times, with a man, to bring back his soul from the pit, that he may be enlightened with the light of life. Give ear, Job, listen to me. Hold your peace, and I will speak. If you have anything to say, answer me. Speak, for I desire to justify you. If not, listen to me. Hold your peace, and I will teach you wisdom. So, that's a lot. So we're going to be talking about that throughout just this whole video, just all of the scriptures, and I'll be referring back to a lot of verses. But I kind of just want to start off with speaking about how in the beginning, we can see in verse 18 or 16, he says, then he opens the ears of men and seals their instruction in order to turn man from his deed and conceal pride from man, right? And we talked about that in the other video that I was talking about, that I made, which is speaking about how God is always speaking to us. And if we go on to read, then we can see that he says man is also chastened with pain on his bed. So this is kind of like a continuation of what he was speaking about before, in terms of he does this to keep our soul from the pit. So he says, in order to turn man from his deed and conceal pride from man, he keeps back his soul from the pit and his life from perishing by the sword. Man is also chastened with pain on his bed, and with strong pain in many of his bones, so that his life abhors bread and his soul succulent food. His flesh wastes away from sight, and his bones stick out, which were once not seen. Yes, his soul draws near to the pit. He's saying that there's a reason for this. So we can see from just reading what we just read that there's a reason that we are chastened on our bed with pain. There's a reason why we go through our trials, our tribulations. There's a reason why we face all of this mental instability and just all of these things that like test our faith and that just show us and bring us right back around to our need, our necessity for God. So I'm going to kind of repeat some stuff just in case that was kind of confusing, because when I was first reading, I know I was definitely confused. But he says, then he opens the ears of men and seals their instruction in order to turn man from his deed. And then if we skip down and we kind of just like bring it all together, man is also chastened with pain on his bed in order to turn man from his deed, to keep him from the pit. I know if you're like me, it's probably not making too much sense right now, but hopefully once we finish it, it will make a lot more sense, because like, y'all, this was so freeing for me. I'm really trying my best to explain it too. It's kind of hard because I don't know why it's so hard, but it's a little bit hard. But I feel like it's just because it's a lot. That's probably why it's harder. But so then it goes on to say, if there's a messenger for him, a mediator among 1,000 to show man his uprightness, then he is gracious to him and says, deliver him from going down to the pit. And that's talking about Jesus. This is talking about Jesus right here. If there is a mediator, that's what Jesus Christ is for us. He's a mediator for us with God. And he saves us from going down into the pit. And he restores us. He restores us to the righteousness that's in him. And so then if we continue on reading, 29 says, behold, God works all these things twice, in fact 3 times with the man, to bring back his soul from the pit, that he may be enlightened with the light of life. So there's a reason why he allows you to draw near to the pit, is so that you may be enlightened with the light of life. So you can be enlightened with Jesus, so that you can see your need for him, and so that you can understand that is not where you want to be. You can understand that allowing yourself to dwell in that sadness, allowing yourself to comfortably just draw near to the pit just because it's what feels the best, and it's what's most comforting for you, because that's what I know. That's what I was doing. I was allowing myself to dwell in these feelings of, sadness and, just feeling bad for myself. God will allow us to do that so that he can not only be the one to pull us from, before we, really just fall into the pit, but so that we can also be enlightened with the light of life, so that we can come back from the pit and understand that is not what's most comfortable. That's not where we desire to truly be at. As convincing as it may seem in the moment, that is what is, easiest. That is what is comfortable for us. It allows us to see it's not what's best for us, and that there is something better, and there is someone who saved us. There is someone who saved us from going to the pit, so we can enjoy that something better, so we can accept that something better, which is life with Jesus Christ, accepting that he is the only thing that we can draw our strength from. He's the only thing that keeps us. I shouldn't have did that. Oh well. He's the only thing that keeps us strong when we are going through it. I don't know why that was so helpful for me when I was going through that, but I feel like it's just because you can see that there's a reason behind your pain. There's a reason that he allows you to get that close to the pit. He allows you to get so close that you think you're never going to be able to be pulled out of it. He allows you to get so close that you think that there's no one and nothing that can save you from that sadness and those feelings that you're dwelling in. But he does it so that you can really cherish life with him. He does it so that you can really cherish the strength that he gives you, and so you can really see that that's where we draw our strength from. Like, We are not strong enough on our own. And that allows us to see that we need him. We need God. Without him, we're nothing. Without him, we would draw near to the pit and we would stay there. Without our mediator, Jesus Christ, without his sacrifice, without him sacrificing his life so that we can have communication with God, so we can be made righteous and holy through him, so that we can be pulled back up from the pit every time we almost, fall right back into it. He just grabs our hand and he snatches us right back up. And it's a good reminder that you're not going to be there forever. You're not, like, once you fall down into the pit and, it feels like you're making your way further and further down to a point where you're not going to be able to, come back. You're not going to be able to be your normal self again, or be in that good mental state of mind that you've been in before. But you will be. And that's what that shows us. He allows us to draw near to the pit. He doesn't say that he allows us to completely fall into the pit, right? And to be completely left to all of that sadness or the worry or the doubt or the fear. He just says that he allows us to draw near to the pit so we can at least feel the consequences of that. So we can at least feel the outcome of where we're going to be if we don't choose him. So we can at least understand and see that without him, that's where we'll be. Without choosing him and allowing his strength to lead us and to guide us and to pull us from the pit, that's where we'll be. And I don't really remember why I was in such a low place, but I was just allowing everything to irritate me. I was allowing everything to make me angry and make me sad and make me feel just terrible for myself. And this kind of helped to remind me, like, love, there's a reason why you're not only where you're at, but I don't know, I had to see, like, there's a reason why I was where I was at. Like, not only just for that sole purpose of understanding what it's like to be in the pit versus to accept, the grace of God and God's mercy, and to allow myself to just be saved by his grace and by his mercy, and to just rest in him and to keep my eyes focused on him. But also because I was there because I allowed myself to dwell in those feelings. I allowed myself to dwell in those emotions. I allowed myself to feel bad for myself. I allowed myself to think all of the bad thoughts that I was thinking. And that was my fault, that I drew near to the pit. God just allowed that to happen so that I could see clearer, so that I could see what I was doing, what was happening, what I was allowing myself to fall into. And so that he could be the one to save me, because it also was a humbling, very humbling moment once I had allowed myself to get that deep into the mindset I was in and the feelings that I was allowing to just kind of control me, like, oh my gosh. I kept trying at that point, once I was so deep in there, to pull myself out. I kept trying to do this, to do that, to read more of my word, or to pray more, to pray better, or to spend more time with him, because I'm like, God, I don't know why this is happening. Like, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And it not only just showed me that, I was there because of me, but I couldn't get myself out of it. Like, it wasn't gonna be by my strength that I was taken out of that state of mind and taken, back from the pit that I put myself in, that I literally made myself feel comfortable in. It says, in order to turn man from his deed and to conceal pride from man. So this is a huge part of it as well. Like, us thinking we can save ourselves, us thinking we are our own savior, us thinking that we have all the strength, we have all the might, we have the ability to do this, that, and the third. When no, actually, we don't. We don't. We can do nothing outside of God and outside of the strength of God. All of this happens to keep us from being prideful, from depending on ourselves, from depending on, our own strength. Ooh, I have so much makeup in my hair. Oh well. We can always learn something through and in our pain and our suffering. I hope that that made sense, because even to me that was kind of like confusing and hard to explain, because I don't know, I would definitely recommend just reading it on your own and having God speak to you personally through it, of course, just like with everything that we read together. But yeah, I don't know, I hope that that kind of helped you to see a light at the end of the tunnel that you're in. Okay, so I'm done with my makeup, but I did want to say one more thing as I'm putting on my jewelry. This is earrings that I'm going to be wearing, but the part where he says, behold, God works all these things twice, in fact 3 times, with a man to bring back his soul from the pit. Just remember, he says twice, in fact 3 times, so it might happen. You know, it's actually, it's not might, it's going to happen multiple times where you feel like you're falling into this pit and there's no one who's gonna be able to pull you out. But remember, our mediator, Jesus Christ, he is the one who is going to redeem you, who is going to, he says, his flesh shall be young like a child's, he shall return to the days of his youth, he shall pray to God, and he will delight in him. And my sister pointed this out. She pointed out the fact that he says, and he will delight in him, he shall see his face with joy. That's God saying that he will delight in you because you're praying to him. And it says that he shall see his face with joy. He's talking about his own face. He shall see his own face. God will see his face with joy because of this, the necklace that I'm wearing. I'm sorry, but this is like, because you're praying to him, because you've been redeemed, you've been saved, that brings him joy. Because you've been taken back from the pit, the last thing he wants is for you to be where you're at. But in order for us humans, us hard-headed humans, to genuinely learn and apply these lessons that we learn, things have to get real for us, sadly. They really do. Like, I don't know about y'all, but for me, it does. Things have to get real. And that's why it was so hard for me to get out of the mindset that I was in until I read this, and I was like, whoa, God, like, you're working all of this together for, just like Romans says, for our good. Like, no matter how everything looks, like, he's working it together for our good. And I couldn't see it because I was so angry on the inside. I was so angry with him, angry with how I felt, what I was thinking about, the things I was allowing myself to think and dwell on, like. But he does this, he allows us to draw near to the pit. So not only he can be the one to rip us from it, to rip us up from it and to redeem us and save us, but so that we can be enlightened with the light of life. So we can see the pit and where we want to be with Jesus Christ, with God. And it allows us to be brought back more wise. It allows us to be brought back more aware of our thoughts, because he tells us to cast down all imaginations that exalt themselves above the knowledge of God, right? We have that ability to do that. It's just our choice. Are we going to choose to dwell on these bad thoughts and these bad things and these just things that we know we're not supposed to, that are going to turn into bitterness, unforgiveness, anxiety, depression, sadness? Or are we going to like completely nip it in the bud and grab it, snatch it up, and not allow it to like overcome us and overtake us? And like I said, this is something that I am even still struggling with, but I am definitely doing a lot better with it this time around than I was then, because of the things that I learned, and because of this, knowing that he works all of these things twice, maybe 3 times, that we can simply be enlightened with the light of life. But basically, that's my makeup, that's my earrings, hair, jewelry, and this was a hairstyle I was really excited about, because this is like, I don't know why, it's my favorite hairstyle. I love long hair, I really do, but I honestly don't even know what I'm gonna wear yet, so give me a second. I'm gonna figure it out and I'll show y'all. Okay, so I honestly don't know how to feel about this. So if y'all don't see me wearing this in the video, that's why I might change my mind. But so far, this is probably the outfit, I think. And then, if anything, because it's probably gonna be a little chilly, I'll probably wear this too, but I don't know like if I want to wear it like with the whole outfit or not. I don't know. I'm trying. I don't really know. I don't know. But so far, this is what we got. But yeah, that's it. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that what we spoke about today in the word can help you. I hope that you were able to understand it. I'm so sorry. I don't know why this was such a challenge for me to explain, especially while I was like doing my makeup. But I definitely would encourage you to seek God on that passage specifically. Like, there's so much good in there that you can get from that, and wisdom. So yeah, but I hope that you guys had fun and enjoyed and are excited, because I'm excited. So yeah, love you guys so much. Bye.